Ivan here, and our guest at the moment is Daniel from Mallorca Radio Group.
Thank you for inviting me.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How's Riga treating you?
I love it. It's the first time I'm here in Riga, and I have to say yesterday we had a little bit time to see the old town. It's wonderful. So nice people, such a good ambient, and yeah, we're really happy that we could be here.
Great stuff. And also it's good to see somebody coming from the south. Because we're so used to northern weather, which comes with its own kind of nice things, the dark blue sky. But I can see you're sun-kissed.
But look today, the weather can't be better.
Today is brilliant. So tell us. I'm sure our viewers will be very interested to hear just some background. Your group was the first to launch digital DAB in. 2 years ago, was it?
2 years ago.
2 years ago, over there. So tell us, how did the whole thing go, and did you encounter any difficulties with in terms of regulatory and technological? How did the whole thing go? Because I know it was big news.
It was big news. We get the first DAB license in 2010, and then the second in 2015. And from there on, there was no movement. I think my colleagues from the Spanish radio groups waited for that the government built the infrastructure for DAB+. It was the same like in the television, in TDT, in digital television. So the Spanish government put it on, and then the content provider could do their programs there. But we had in Spain, like in other countries, also other type of issues. So there were no movement, and we thought if we wait a little bit more, then we will not have no possibility to have DAB+ in Spain, and that could not be possible. So because it's so important. And so we started then with the first infrastructure with a technical provider, and that is now great. When I am in my car and I try the DAB+, and the quality difference between FM, because we have in Spain another type of DAB+, we are sending with 128 kilobits. Yes. So it's wonderful, and also the messages you can add on and everything. I'm really a DAB+ lover, and in FM we had 2 programs. So we are having 2 programs: In the Radio Mallorca, the German-speaking radio station, and Mallorca Sunshine Radio, the English-speaking radio station. So now with DAB+, we have more possibilities. So we have now In the Radio Classics. That's oldie music. We have Mallorca Sunshine Radio Classic with soul, funk, jazz from the 70s and the 80s. Now we will start with the rock channel on DAB+. So this is more variety. I think it's only everybody is winning. The listener, and that's the most important thing. The listener, the user, that they have more possibility to choose, and the good quality. Today in the digital area where we are, radio must be DAB+.
That's true. Yeah. And are you seeing already any serious movement, audiences from FM towards DAB? So are people picking up, or is it, because in some European countries it's rather slow, people still sticking to FM, but in other places it's just rapidly expanding now.
Yeah. The good thing is that Radio Nacional de España started also the public radio station in the Balearic Island, IB3 Radio, started also, and I think now the private radio station will do the same. I think in Spain we still have to do a lot of work for the end listeners to tell them things about DAB+. One thing is buying a new car, and then you have the choice. Mostly don't know what's the difference between we put in the naming of the radio station In the Radio HD. So because people are more familiarized with HD than like with DAB+. And I think there is a lot of work to do, but that's also good. I think for the industry who are selling DAB+ radios for the kitchen and everything, all this process other European country had going through, we are now at the start, and I think this is a good opportunity. I always like to think in opportunities and not in problems.
Oh, absolutely. It's great just giving people these opportunities, because a couple of years ago in Munich, we had a fascinating conversation with a colleague who, so she is in her mid-20s, works on the radio in the UK, and she said, do you know what? She said, for my generation, radio is just radio. We don't distinguish between FM, DAB, smart speaker. And then I thought, actually, that's a very interesting point, because for them, it's this audio coming out of speakers. But at the moment, as you said, we're at this junction where, technology is going in one way, and some, generations are still stuck with the FM mode, and others are thinking, okay, do we go onto apps? It's interesting to see that, countries are catching up, because not only Spain, now Ireland is rolling out, because they were a bit late. There are some countries in the eastern, southeastern part of the continent, for example, where I'll give Bulgaria as an example. They don't have any DAB transmission whatsoever. So it's good to see.
But your colleague is totally right. For the end consumer, doesn't matter. They don't necessarily need to know what kind of possibilities they have to listen to their content provider. It must be easy. See, we have the good thing with the iPhones. They had such a big success because it was easy. I remember 5 years ago when I made a present to my mother with 84 years, I gave her an iPad, and she never used a computer or something like that. But that was like 20 minutes showing her something, and then we made video conferences. She looked for news, listening to music. So I think finally that's the way technology must be, easy. And I remember one of the International Radio Days in Paris. There were something from the automobile industry, and also talking about the first time about hybrid auto radio possibilities.
Yes.
And I love from the first idea the thing. People are putting their station, Radio Express, in the Radio Mallorca, and then it goes from analogic to digital, and when DAB is not happening, then to satellite. So I love that way, because that was a way to do it on a easy possibility for the end consumer. No? But now we have to see. I don't know the last figures or informations about the automobile industry. We are listening about something. Tesla don't have radio more inside. You have to make really hard work to find radio.
Yes.
Let's see how we can fix that. No?
With Tesla in particular, it's very interesting that they don't allow Apple and Android as well in the car. So what do you do? I hope that at least in Europe the regulators will intervene, and with the work that Radio Player are doing as well, to lobby with regulators to, if necessary, have discussions with these manufacturers and tell them that we need our we need our radios there.
And radio is still important and will be important. I'm a totally radio lover, and I know radio is also really prepared for the future.
Yes.
We have lots of issues now with the artificial intelligence thing, but I think this is only a part to help radio people making their jobs better, and more detailed. So it's not that AI is something what makes a problem to radio. No, I think this is a fantastic connection.
That was my next question, by the way. It's good when talking to radio people. You don't need to be asking questions. The conversation it just goes. So tell me about AI utilization at Mallorca Radio Group. Where are you in terms of how do you feel about it? What tools you would say are useful? Because we've all tried various things, but some things don't work at all.
No.
Others are quite funny. Some other tools can help.
I think the radio DJs with AI, it's not what the world really needs. No? Where AI is really good for is for research, helping my news team, finding more types of better investigation, being better, getting the radio DJs getting some helps for for their sessions, if they need information about some artist, about something what's happening. So this is really, I think, a cool thing in a short of time having much more better information. And
yes.
then where radio is really standing for is the emotional thing. And I think,
yes.
okay, I can't talk about what's happening in the next 10 years, but in the moment, it's really, people want the emotion. Everything is going much more colder and colder. Try to call Airways, somebody, and you have always the chats bringing you from
sterile.
one side. So you need a lot of positive energy to stay half an hour online and to speak with somebody. So I think radio in this terms is fantastic. We are giving the energy, we are giving the surprise. So that's personally and that's human. But in preparing your show, preparing radio programs, doing investigation, I love the AI for that. That's really, and also in our marketing team, we are using it a lot. We have a lot of agents to helping to do the first step. But finally, if you want to sign a contract from the sales side,
to close it,
you need the personality. You need somebody to talk you to and say, "Hey man, I will help you." No?
That's true.
So
That's
the
true.
AI in this moment can't do that. No? In 10 years, I don't know. But it's not a country. How do you say the contradiction? It's not one thing against the other. It helps us a lot, and we have to take the hand of the AI and to use it in our radio world.
Yes, that's true. And when I speak with colleagues who are, in my opinion, overly enthusiastic, I'll say to them, as you said, as a tool, it's great. It does help. Sometimes, because of the way LLM models are designed, sometimes they will not actually give you factual truths. You need to double check.
That's
but
true.
Most importantly, in the world of audio, nobody will want to replace the voice, for example, of their mom and dad growing up.
No.
And the same thing, we wouldn't. I would like to hear a human, a real person talking to me, because they could be your friend. They could be the one to help you. So I guess this is where we're well placed. But we have to kind of try and communicate this to the audiences. And so my last two questions, I asked all of our guests two questions that are kind of on two opposite ends of the spectrum. So one is, what is the thing that excites you the most thinking of radio in the next year or two? And then my second question is, what is the thing that gives you headaches? The things that worries you?
Look, I'm a totally radio lover. Now, this year, 1st of August, I will be doing my radio station 30 years, and that's also the time I've been into the industry. And for me, there is nothing much more better than radio. So it's creativity, it's theater in your mind.
Yes.
Is being the friend of your listeners, giving them hope when they feel bad, giving them good information if they want to know more about one thing. So I don't care about the future of radio. For me, it's a thing 100% done. Headache, okay. I'm like a general manager of the radio station. I understand also a big station. If you are a private radio station, you always have to take care of the costs. So it could be, on a first view, an easy thing to reduce costs with letting AI doing a lot of things. But if you go too deep in this role, then you will lose your identity. True. And hopefully, really hopefully, radio will be still be managed also by radio people, and not only by numbers,
spreadsheet people.
So no, everything is important.
Of course it is.
There, because if we don't make good figures, we can't do our project.
True.
But hopefully, people will always see the DNI or ADN of radio and still going on that way.
Daniel, thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me,
being with us, and have a great conference.
Yeah, we will do.
And we'll see you later on the floor.
And next year, let's see where we see us, no?
Yes.
You never know.
You don't know. As we know, you don't know until 4 o'clock on Tuesday.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Daniel. Yeah. And we'll be back soon. Thank you, guys. Thank you for watching.